This is for the woman who is still on the path of becoming. Let's be honest, your 40s will confront you with the life you've built, the choices you've made, and the ones you wish you had made sooner. My name is TD, and this is InHer40s. Unleashing the Dynamite Experience on Base 101.1 FM, the radio show where we stop pretending and start telling ourselves the truth. Truth about love, marriage, divorce, and desire. About money and missed chances. Bodies changing, confidence rising, and learning to say no without guilt. These are real conversations for real women who are done shrinking and ready for clarity. In her 40s, with me, TD. Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. on Base 101.1 FM.
Hello. Good evening, beautiful people. Welcome back to In Her 40s, Unleashing the Dynamite Experience. It's a beautiful Thursday evening. Sunny, hot, but hey, we're grateful to God. I have a special guest in the house. My guest today is Tejumade Fola-Alade. She goes by Teju, but let's just formalize it for, professionalism's sake. She's head of human resources at a fintech organization. She has a background across fintech and e-commerce. She's also the founder of Teju Writes, a career content platform on Instagram, and Better Worker, a human capacity development firm. And she's also a professional biographer who helps executives build and articulate their professional identity. She has been on both sides of this conversation. She has watched organizations make quiet decisions about talented women, and she has also made career moves herself. And of course, like I said, she's also a HR extraordinaire, as they say. So she has sat not even just on two sides, on three sides of this conversation. So I think this is the ultimate person that we should be having this discussion with. Welcome, Teju. We're excited to have you here.
Thank you, Tiddy. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, welcome. We're excited. So I think maybe before we even start, it would be good to sort of put in a caveat, and that's to say our topic is the loyalty trap. How corporate women maybe talk themselves into maybe staying too long in certain places or certain roles. Now, this, of course, might not be a conversation that resonates with everyone. Some people are on the right career path. They're in the right organization. They're in an organization that maybe embraces loyalty, rewards it, and supports it. So if you're in that kind of situation, hey, I'm happy for you. But this conversation is for people that are struggling in the sense that maybe they feel like they've overstayed their welcome either in a role or in a particular place. And you know that more often than not, especially maybe in, I would say, environments like ours, where financial stability is a thing, more often than not, those decisions are not necessarily based on what we feel, but the fear of that instability. Mm-hmm. So, sometimes we stay out of comfort, security, safety, and all those kind of things. So that's why I felt like this is a conversation that sometimes people need a little bit of fire put on their asses. That's look beyond just what is happening outside of you. What about what is happening inside of you? If there's that maybe restless spirit or something about you is asking questions, it's time to listen to it and do it in the right way. So of course, we're not asking anybody to take rash decisions or whatnot. We're just saying, listen to your inner voice. Sometimes when you've maybe overstayed in a certain role or in a certain space. So I just felt like to put that out there because sometimes people confuse this with meaning you're telling people, oh, you should move. It's not necessarily about moving for moving's sake. It's more moving because it aligns with maybe the next phase or the next step that you're trying to take in this journey, career-wise, professionally, and whatnot. So welcome once again. Like I said, I think maybe just to set the tone, I would ask from your personal experience, have you sort of interacted with people that have come to you as a professional HR person, also as, I'll say, as a human being, so to speak, like with friends, family and stuff. Have you had people come to you and talk about not knowing what next step to take career-wise? And how does that usually evolve conversation-wise?
All right. Thank you, TD. I think to answer that question, I need to go back.
Okay.
Right. I've not always been in human resources,
Awesome.
right? I transitioned about almost 10 years ago.
Okay.
And before then, I used to write CVs for senior executives.
Oh.
And I discovered that I had more female clients. And usually the conversation starts with, I want to write my CV. Oh, okay. What company are you trying to attract? Where do you want to send your CV? I don't know.
I don't know.
I just know I've been in this organization for many years. I need to leave. Now, let me tell you something funny. I've checked out some of those women on LinkedIn and they are still there.
Oh,
The
wow.
last experience. Now, I'm talking about conversations that happened almost 10 years ago.
And
They are
they're
still in
in
that
the same
organization. Yes.
Interesting.
So it's very common actually. Sometimes people are not experiencing challenges in the organization they work. The incentives are still there. They are still being treated right. There is value. But human beings by nature, we're restless.
Yes.
Right, as individuals. I mean, I don't want to go through all the old Bible shenanigans where, Moses started moving his people, or even from the days of Neanderthals where they had to keep relocating their family. Even animals, you see that after a while, lions,
They migrate.
They migrate.
Yeah.
It's natural for us to want to migrate, to crave what is beyond our, surroundings. So I think for individuals at certain points, we get tired of the same thing. And I like to believe that from experience, and I've written a number of CVs, both men and women, and I can tell you for a fact that the minute people start reaching out to say, I want to write my CV, they want to move,
Yes.
right? They know it's time to move. But many people don't move, not because they are not getting opportunities, but the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
It's like dangling something. You just know there's something hovering around you that if I leave, don't also forget that you're joining somewhere new. They don't know you. Maybe you're already a local champion
Where you
in an
currently
organization
are.
you
Yeah.
work. You're like a crocodile in the Yangtze. And that's also speaking from personal experience. I've had opportunities thrown at me where I'm like, hey, I'm going to join a new organization. I'm going to become a shark in the ocean.
I have to start
I'm
proving
already
myself.
a dawn. I'm
Yes.
already a crocodile here. This is my Yangtze. So that feeling is why many people stay beyond where they should. Or when it's time to. So I think I just wanted to put that into perspective. Yeah.
And like you said, it's interesting that someone can stay even as long as 10 years after they've had that initial thoughts of wanting to move. And that goes back to the fact that sometimes fear can have such a stronghold on us, because that fear of the unknown holds you back. So imagine 10 years where you could have charted another course in a new organization.
Yeah.
But just that whole fear of, what if they don't like me? What if I don't have the same opportunities I'm having here?
Yeah.
And those kind of stuff. And it just makes you stay in one place. And I feel like as human beings, we're sort of entitled to move. We're sort of entitled to also challenge ourselves, which I think is usually the root of that restlessness.
Yeah. So let me also mention that sometimes it depends on the period of your life you're in.
Absolutely.
Right. My first work experience, I spent about 4 years. The second, about 6 years. The third, I think about 3 years. And the next, about 3 years. I have over 15 years work experience. And I'm an apostle of loyalty. You will find out in organizations that women tend to stay longer than men.
Absolutely. Yes.
If they're treated. And trust me, that also extends to marriage. When a man is tired, he's gone. But women, we rationalize things.
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway, he's good to the children, his family, they are
He's
nice
a
to me.
responsible husband.
When a man is tired, he's moving. Men understand self-preservation more than women.
Absolutely.
And that's
I
why
agree.
in organization, a man offer him 100,000 naira, 200,000 naira more, he will take it. But the woman is ready. And these people, they treat me well. Last year they gave me rice and oil.
Yeah.
The man does not care. He's thinking
My boss
about
is a decent
by the time-
person.
exactly. We rationalize our emotions, and it extends to different aspects of our lives. So I think to mention that sometimes people also stay based on the level, the period of their lives. A younger woman who is in her 20s, your boss speaks rudely to you. You're
move.
resigning.
Yeah.
Even you can go back to your house and go and eat mom's food and pop's food, or maybe your husband. Early 30s, yeah, you can still take the chance. The kids are not yet coming as much, or they are still young. The husband is taking care of you, or whether you're single, you know, the responsibilities is not
It's
so
not
much.
as much.
But the older you get,
Yep.
now you're taking loans, you're taking mortgage, you have this car
Yeah.
payment you're making. The husband's salary is not enough. You can't just
It's a
wake up one day and
two-income
say,
household.
exactly, this 50-50 that is going around now.
Well,
So, so that also affects how long people stay in organizations.
true.
That affects our decisions.
because, more often than not, at the end of the day, we're going to work because we want some level of financial stability or security. So if you already have that, you keep asking yourself, what if? What if? What if?
Absolutely.
I'll use like personal experience. I was working in an organization where, like you said, I was the shining star. Like if I coughed, everybody's like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And then I got an opportunity to go and manage a group of smaller companies. And for me, that was a significant leap in my career. So I thought about it. I weighed my options. I was like, oh, okay, here, like a big fish in a small pond. This is an opportunity to expand my knowledge base, experience, and whatnot. So I took that leap. But 3.5 months after that, I was asked to leave. So you can imagine all the thoughts going through my head.
boy.
Like, I left stability, I left where I was respected and valued, and this and that and that. So I can imagine that maybe stories like mine would also influence other people in taking those risks.
Yeah.
Because it always becomes a case of what if. Even though our mind usually imagines worst case scenario.
And trust
but-
me, that's another fear.
Yeah.
You're going somewhere, they don't know you. Everybody here, they know you. They know your performance. Even the days that maybe you come in late to the office.
They give
right?
you leeway.
They give you leeway.
Yes.
Or, I'm not feeling fine, I want to work. They understand. This new place, you have to pretend for the first 6 months.
Yeah.
Right?
You have to prove yourself pretty much.
You have to
From
prove
the
yourself.
ground
You
up,
have to,
yeah.
where they drop you, where they leave is where you're going to stay. You still have to build that credibility. People are
Absolutely.
scared of that. It's a
True.
lot of work.
True. And I think more especially, even as women, especially as you're getting higher in the career ladder, it's people sometimes would question why this person, she's female, why is she the one heading the departments? I've been working in this company maybe for the past 5 years, then you bring an outsider to be my boss. So sometimes it makes it like double proving yourself. So first of all, you are proving your capacity as an individual, but also as maybe a female. So sometimes that double fear pulls us back because you almost feel like I'm safe here. They know me here. They treat me where I'm well
Absolutely.
respected and those kind of stuff. So well, let's see. I'll ask, is there a difference between a woman who's still growing in her company and someone who is staying because living feels too hard? So the reason why you're still there.
Yeah.
How do we identify those differences?
It's very easy. Complacency.
Ooh.
It's very easy.
True.
It's very glaring. Right? And that's something a lot of people don't know. Complacency sets in. This is the way we do things. You are no longer trying. And guess what? To mention that many of us will fall into that category at some point.
Yes.
But some people pick themselves back up faster than others.
Yeah.
But it's always easy. That's why saying, why did this person get promoted? Or why is this person moving faster than me? Someone is putting in effort. Someone is asking why. Someone is challenging things. Someone is taking initiative. Someone is not comfortable with the way things are being done. But you see that woman who is still growing. She's growing. She's learning. She has a life outside our organization. And guess what? If you have a life outside an organization, it reflects in the quality of work you do in the organization.
True.
It reflects in your thought process. It reflects in your ideas. It reflects in your initiative. You can't teach being cultured, right? It's not, you can't put people in a meeting room and say that today the topic is learning how to be cultured in the organization.
Yeah. How to
It's
be
everything you
exposed.
do, exactly. It's everything you do outside your organization.
True.
So that woman who is still growing is reflecting that in the way she thinks, in the way she even presents, in the way she talks, in the way she reasons, in the way she engages stakeholders. A woman who is staying because I don't have any, she's already complacent.
True.
I'm
She's just
here.
ticking the box.
You are making sure that you are not occupying so much space that they will notice you.
True.
Because if they notice this person's performance is mediocre, or this
Yeah.
person, you're not putting in effort. So they are comfortable. It's where you leave them. Someone who is growing is hungry. You want to take on projects. You want to show in meetings. It's to show the difference is clear. You're speaking up. You
right.
want to occupy. You're not. But someone who is complacent, you are hiding.
True.
So that's the difference.
That's, as simple as it is, immediately you said it just clicked. Like, it's so true. Because sometimes we fly under the radar. As Les Brown would say, you're doing just enough not to get fired.
Exactly.
And not to just keep I'm delivering.
Just put me in the middle of that bell curve. Let me just be existing.
I'm ticking the right boxes and we're okay. I'm not
Exactly.
ruffling any feathers. I'm not trying to make any huge changes or don't notice
Don't
me,
put me in the
please.
limelight. Yeah, exactly.
So in that situation, what are the stories sometimes people tell themselves to stay? And what are maybe the most common ones you've heard?
The devil you know is better than the angel you don't know. I mean, look at your experience. It's very common. I've seen, even before I moved to HR, I've seen situations where someone joined an organization and in less than a month, they are leaving. And this confirmation process thing is scary.
Yeah.
I like to believe that I'm an above average performer in every organization I've worked. But I promise you that for every organization I join, there's this fear I have during that confirmation process that what if they don't confirm me?
Yeah.
What if my previous company, they've just been managing me? Maybe I'm not performing as much as they just didn't tell me. Maybe because they didn't want to hurt me. Exactly. Then I come here and it shows that this babe, when I joined my current organization, I was scared. Because it's a larger institution. I was scared. I was worried. In my mind, I was really like, in fact, it was so bad. I was like, do I have enough money saved in case they fire me?
What's my plan B?
Will my husband be able to take it? I was scared, right? And it took a while before even till now, there's still that fear that, hey, what you want? Did they say, you need to sit up. So that fear also keeps people. I don't want to go somewhere that they've confirmed me, I've proven myself, I'm earning my salary, everybody knows me, the CEO knows me, I'm already a champion here. True. You're now telling me to go somewhere new. One line manager will and guess what? Is a perception. If a line manager should just say that, what's this girl doing in a meeting? It contaminates the perception of others.
Absolutely.
So if you get it wrong, that's it. So that's why a lot of people want to stay. I mean, for women, those fears are. For men, honestly, it may be more complicated.
True.
In terms of men, they are risk takers.
They are risk takers.
So they don't tell them they are not trying. They will find a way to, and they will move. They will get, even if it's 50K difference, they will move. But for women, we don't like that kind of movement. Are we going to be moving? You know, the way, if the marriage is not more, we like security.
We like safety.
Will I leave this one and go somewhere? They will say me, I'm changing. And to be honest, I have this friend who I used to teach. She changes jobs like crazy. She's moving. She's like a guy. And I'm always teasing her. Why are you moving? Where are you going to? And all that. But she's moving. She doesn't, I don't know how she does it. But now, I don't want to say I have I have a certain level of respect for her being able to take that risk. But that kind of risk also comes with a level of security.
True.
That, maybe whether she has saved enough, or maybe she has rich parents or alternative. So exactly. But for women, security, and if you're being treated right, I think it's just our nature.
True.
If you're nurturing me well, where am I going to?
Where am I going to?
And also, some organizations will match wherever you're going.
Yes.
If you're a talent,
Yes.
oh, how much are they offering you? Some organizations will match it, because they don't want to
Start that process.
And sometimes it costs more to bring in a new hire.
Yes.
You already know this person.
Yeah.
Please stay, let's give it to you.
You understand our system, you know how we work.
So you rationalize it that, am I not leaving because of salary? Unless you have a bad manager. Let me just stay, Jerry.
Well, to be fair, sometimes it might also be expanded opportunities, or maybe another step up the ladder that you might not have that opportunity in your current organization.
Yeah.
Because I know that, like, with people that move quickly, more often than not, they've charted their career path. They are the ones that are telling you, I want to be maybe COO by so age, by so. So in their mind, they're like, the only way I can get this is by moving. Because for each new organization, they're negotiating for maybe a higher role or a higher responsibility over and above just the financial aspect. And more, they get a quicker trajectory career-wise because they're moving, as against someone who's in the same place and might not necessarily have the same opportunities within their organization. So if everybody in that organization is comfortable and is properly well taken care of, so to say, they're likely not to leave as rapidly. The turnover rate is lower. So the opportunities for positions to open up is slimmer. So you find that sometimes that movement is what gives people advancement in their careers. But as women, we'll take comfort sometimes over and above that advancement, because the advancement also comes with a certain level of risk.
So I think that also has to do with maybe personality and character. Not everyone wants to be over promoted. We have people that are individual contributors in terms of behavior. I've met them in workplaces. Please, I don't want to manage anybody, but just be increasing my salary maybe every 18 months or every 6 months or every 1 year, every 3 years. Let me be that when I joined in 2018, I was earning 200,000. By 2021, let me at least be on maybe 450 or even 350. Some people are okay with that.
True.
But that personality of I need to move, you would have seen it in someone when they join. That this person is not someone I can keep on one particular road. You yourself, you know that this person is already looking for a job. So that kind of person, is it that now we have different types of promotions or different types of growth. You have lateral growth and you have horizontal growth.
Yeah.
So for lateral growth is the same level. I mean, if you have a small organization, where are you getting promoted to? Let's say guys are 3 in your department.
True.
You have a head, you have a manager, and you have a supervisor. What do you want to say? I want to be promoted to where? Fire the person in front of you.
Exactly. And then the head resigns.
Or the manager is saying, I want to be promoted. So what should we do? Should I leave? So in that kind of organization, you already know that until that person leaves, there's no way I'm going. So you have to but if you're someone that desire growth, horizontal growth, then you have to also consider the organization you're joining.
True.
This organization, they have layers. Those are questions you ask during interview. So what are the layers? Oh, nice. So I have the opportunity. So now you want to prove yourself by merit. It only becomes a problem if you see that merit does not work here.
Yeah, well, true.
Are you calling your boss or co or something? Or are you attending parties and you're taking wine? So all those kind of things also. I think
you go for office conference and you're eating amala newedu.
Exactly. So I think those things also affect growth and how people move. So ultimately, it depends on the personality, the character, and even the organization you find yourself.
Absolutely. I think very valid, because what you said in the sense that you can spot someone who's a go-getter from the minute they enter. Yeah. So regardless of what level they come in at, you can see just based off of the way they are even attending to their work. You can see that this person does not want to sit in one spot. And I think maybe as a HR professional, it's your job to notice those things and keep them challenged.
Yep.
So you can make recommendations to maybe their line manager and say things like, look, this person needs more responsibility. Otherwise, they're going to get bored.
They'll go with flight risk. We call them talent risk. This person will not stay 2 years in this role. Make sure you keep them busy.
Yeah. And keep challenging them. Because sometimes it might not even necessarily be the growth in terms of promotion. It might just be growth in terms of expanded responsibilities.
Yeah.
I don't want to just clock in and clock out every day and I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So I would ask, from a maybe What's the actual career cost of maybe staying too long in a particular place or role? Not necessarily emotional costs, maybe like the professional cost or financial cost sometimes.
So this is a tricky one because I would also attribute it to several factors. I wouldn't exactly say there's a career cost in staying too long. I've seen people stay in organizations and they are very wealthy. They are doing well. They've grown.
Very true.
Right? Once you key into the vision or you work with amazing colleagues and bosses, you can decide to stay. I think the career cost is, for me, it's important. For me, it's very important that when I leave an organization, I've not been left behind. So if you pick up my CV, a particular page of my CV is filled with certificates and learning. Every year I try to take one course, one certificate, something to show that I've learned. The last year it was cybersecurity, and the year before it was MBA. There's another course I took. I did a course in Harvard Business School online. For me, I like to say if I live somewhere, I don't want to step out of that environment and I'm looking lost, like, what's going on? I'm not grown. Then I go to an organization. Even when I pick up CVs, I'm looking at what have you done for yourself, especially for women, because it's easy for us to get lost. What have you done for yourself as a woman? Because this is where resentment comes in, even in couples.
True.
Because when you see that as a woman, you've not invested in yourself, it becomes a problem. So the career costs has less to do with the organization and more to do with the individual. Don't get too comfortable or complacent in a role where you're not learning anything or you're not doing anything new that is changing you. In the spirit of transparency, I once held a role where I wasn't doing anything new. I mean, I was valued in the organization tremendously, but I was now, for me, the role had become advisory. I had
so there was already a blueprint.
I had a team member who had already trained, who was already a successor. Right? I just knew that, no one is saying anything, but I just have outgrown this role. I know.
And this person under you also needs to step up.
I've outgrown this role. I know it. I've seen it. It had become advisory. It was now a case of, speak to Teju. Teju can. But in terms of the actual technical depth, competency, nothing new was being added into me. That was when I knew it was time to leave. It was a fantastic place to work. So I think for women, it's important we tell ourselves that I'm in an organization where they are still pouring into me.
Yes.
I'm still taking something out of this organization beyond salary.
Yes, absolutely.
And not just every month you're hearing pakam, you're happy that you're getting salary. No. But when you are comfortable, let me just hide here. Then you go for an interview, they ask you a question. So tell me, and you are mentioning functional responsibilities that then you know that the world has left you behind. So that's the career cost for me to women, not the organization. The organization has little to do with it.
True.
But you take out something from the organization, build yourself, invest in yourself every year.
True.
So that you're showing TV, you're stepping out, you're not angry, you're not resentful. I've been here for 10 years. What have they done for me? What have you done for you?
For yourself, absolutely.
To prepare you for the next place.
True. It's so interesting that you say that in terms of investing in yourself, because a lot of people don't even realize that their organizations have budgets for things like trainings and stuff. Because you've never asked.
Even free learning. They have websites where go and learn.
Some have done partnerships with a lot of all these platforms that all you have to do, just sign in.
Just key into
and
it.
You automatically have access to a whole lot of stuff, whether related to your job or not. Because some organizations even look at things like vocational learning as still learning, because they feel like as long as you are feeding maybe your passions, it translates.
Absolutely.
To how you do the work.
To how you do the work. Yeah.
Because there's something so interesting about the human mind. When you learn, you get excited. We're like children. So for every new information, it's like,
want to, even in meetings, you want to show off. Or when you do presentation, you want to put it in just to show that the me of yesterday is not the one in front of you.
When you see what
Yeah,
information online,
exactly.
and you're telling everybody, did you know that?
Exactly.
And
You
they're like,
wanna show
where did you
off.
see that? I saw it on one platform. I saw it on one, and you're feeling good with yourself. Like, I know something different.
Exactly.
And I think it's more about that whole you, like you said, it boils down to you. If you are investing in yourself, it's easier for other people to see that and notice it.
Yep.
So they are also more likely to want to invest in you as well.
Yep.
So they might not necessarily be able to say, oh, we want to send you for a training, but they now realize that, okay, maybe we need to give this person more
More work.
responsibility
Yeah.
and give them more opportunities. That's when maybe your MD will say, okay, I'm going for this meeting. Let's go. Even if it's not directly related to your role and you're wondering, oh, why are they taking me for this meeting? And you end up going and sitting with maybe HNIs or senior management people that you ordinarily would not have interaction with just because they notice something is different about you.
Yeah.
And you're more excited about doing your work. Interesting. I love it. I love it. And I think sometimes as individuals, are there moments where we don't even notice when organizations have maybe made decisions about us?
So, yes, it's possible. But at the same time, it's still complacency. I will still tie to complacency. It's possible not to know, especially if it's like a general restructuring, or a general redundancy, or a general downsizing, where it's not a case of it's you. It's the process, this system is a business decision. But for me, it's all about making sure that you're still relevant for that business, which is what I spoke to, that you have to ensure that there's still something new about you. There's still, I mean, let's even ignore the fact that maybe they start removing tasks from your table, or you're no longer being called the meeting. Those are the typical
Obvious.
cliche of it's time to start dusting. An HR colleague, usually there's a mantra she sings every time, that never overstay your welcome.
Yes.
Never. In fact,
This is in life.
any HR professional who knows her will know the person I'm talking about. Never overstay your welcome, right? Always leave when the ovation is still very loud.
Absolutely.
Right? There's something, when you get to that plateau stage where nothing new is happening, it depends on the level anyway, but never overstay your welcome. If you are no longer adding value, if you're no longer getting poured into, it's possible that a decision is being made or has been made. But some organizations don't mind. Now, it depends on the kind of organization.
True.
So we have startup, we have scale-ups, we have mature organizations. For most startups, you can't hide. You have to come correct. You must be seen to be poured into and to be given back. For scale-up sake, for mature, you can hide. So you can hide in mature organizations. For startup, scale-up, what are you doing? So in those kind of organizations, it may be easy to know that it's looking as if my work is reducing.
Yeah.
You are closing by 3, no one cares.
Yes.
Right.
Or they're having certain meetings and they didn't tell you about
Alpha,
it.
So I think, but it's a two-way thing. Sometimes you may know, sometimes you may not know. It's all about the company or the type of decision being made.
They're being made. Interesting. Awesome. Oh, my people. So please, our WhatsApp numbers and call numbers. I tell you people, I'm learning on the job. So you can feel free, please send us a WhatsApp message on 091 66 216 000. That's 091 66 216 000. And then if you want to call in, it's 091 66 215 000. So the first 6 numbers are the same. The last 4 numbers, 6,000 and 5,000. 5,000 for phone calls, 6,000 for WhatsApp. So in case you have any question for Teju, we're here to answer those questions. So back to our conversation. Now, saying that, because sometimes we feel like, of course, for a woman who is maybe struggling with that decision or is trying to decide what her next step should be, what do you think the first step is? What's the first honest question she needs to ask herself?
Do I like where I am? Now, I'm not talking about organization as in
As a person.
as a person.
Oh, okay.
Where I am as an individual. Do I like it? That's if you can lie to yourself that you like the organization, but do I like the feel of where I currently am as an individual? Am I achieving the goals I've set for myself? And guess what? Forget everything you may see online saying that we shouldn't compare. It's very hard.
It is.
We all have contemporaries, we all have peers that when you meet each other, you want to be able to say that we are not so, we may not all be at par, but we shouldn't be so far away that how is this only I'm here?
True.
You want to go for reunion, you don't want to be hiding from reunions because you're not
embarrassed
where
to say,
you're embarrassed to say where you are. So I think the first question is to be sincere with yourself. Do I like where I am? The second question is, do I enjoy what I'm doing? I remember attending a conference and this lady was like, I think she works whether with Chevron, I can't remember the name, but it was all these oil and gas that we're all dreaming of working when we're growing. And she told us at that conference, the conference, it was a session by Glory Edozian, this 9 to 5. So I remember, and she mentioned that she just resigned. And we're all shocked. The organization everyone is dreaming to work with, she now said she resigned to, I can't remember, but it was one of these vocation, like when you're doing maybe sewing or there was no correlation, like you left big money.
So it completes U-turn.
But she was like, she wasn't enjoying it. That she found herself crying every morning when she's going to the office.
Oh, wow.
There are people that cry on Sunday evening.
Yes.
Monday morning, they are cranky. There are some people that don't smile at all on Monday mornings.
True.
So I mean, it's a different thing to know that work plenty today. You know you are working. It's crazy. But it's another thing. Sunday you're having serious palpitation. That oh my God, I'm going to this office.
Yes.
What am I? Then it's time to tell yourself the truth. What would it take to move me from where I am to where I want to be? I think those are the the ladies I mentioned that I helped with their CVs and they're still there. That's a conversation. And guess what? That conversation they don't want to have.
True.
They will have it later.
Yeah.
Because they've had it with me. I don't want to think anything has changed.
Yeah.
Because when I check their LinkedIn, they're still on the same level unless they've not updated it.
I get what you mean.
So they will still have that conversation later.
So changing, updating CV is not the first step.
It's not the
It's
first
even
step.
addressing if you want to leave in the first place.
If you want to
or
leave.
why you want to leave.
Some people probably just had an epiphany, or maybe they ran
Heard about something.
Heard about I need to leave. Or maybe their line manager they had a fight or an argument, or they challenged, maybe during the performance appraisal they got a negative feedback. I'm leaving this organization, I'm done. But it's a lie. They are still there 5 years later. So it's to have the conversation with yourself. Do I like where I am? And that was a conversation I asked myself in an organization I used to work. I was always complaining to my husband, but he was like, you love this place. I said, I do. That I love the organization, but I also know that I'm falling into a complete state of complacency.
Yeah.
That I'm worried. That was when he said, oh yeah, madam, I think it's time. Because I had it sincere. In fact, my daughter, every morning I will open and I'll say, God, I don't want to be in this company by, I mentioned the month and the year.
Oh, wow.
And he answered. Because before that deadline, I got another fantastic job.
Oh, awesome.
So it became, because I knew, I was like, no, I don't like that feeling. I mean, no palpitations, nothing. I love the place, but I knew I didn't like the feeling of complacency. I didn't like the feeling that I've outgrown. I told myself the truth. Otherwise, I could be, I'm collecting salary. I like the place. They respect me here. I had to make that decision because it's like, I'm
That's
okay.
the worst possible thing to be.
Exactly. I'm okay. Why am I okay with okay?
Yeah.
Why can't I want more or strive for something
I love that. It's interesting. And I think because when you said asking yourself if you like where you are, which is the phase you are in or where you are with life in general, because sometimes it's also a ripple effect. If you're dissatisfied with maybe your work, it translates to how you also do other things. So you probably get home, your kids are doing, welcome, mommy. I like, please, I beg, I beg, I beg, I beg. They're not the cause of your problem, but unfortunately, they're on the receiving end of that maybe dissatisfaction or whatever it is that you're going through. So I feel like, honestly, even without wanting to move or not, I'm the kind of person, I always advocate for self-check all the time, as often as you can. Just feel your own pulse and ask yourself, am I okay? Are we still on track? Whatever plan I had for my life, is this still going according to whatever vision I had for myself? And I think maybe that helps, but it's also a difficult conversation to have, which is why maybe a lot of people avoid having those conversations. And even when they manage to, taking the actual steps required to do that, because it's hard. Change is hard.
That's why a lot of coaches are millionaires.
Yes.
Right.
They're telling people information they already know.
They know.
But they just want to hear it.
Yeah, you just want to hear it in somebody
and
else's voice. Yeah, it's hard to take personal decisions, to make personal decisions.
True. I guess, because with people, and I think I would also speak from personal experience, I've worked in a place where I got to the point of that complacency that you mentioned. I got to the point where I was not excited to go to work. So you wake up in the morning and just like, oh God, back to this office. Don't get me wrong, the office wasn't a bad place. I loved it. It's probably one of the best places I've still worked till today. But I felt like I'd gotten to a certain extent to my peak there.
Yeah.
But I didn't, of course, because this awareness and realization is as you mature. At that time, I was still younger. So in my head, I was thinking, I'm not satisfied. I'm not excited about work. It had almost become like same old. So nothing was
Very
fully
routine,
challenging me. Yeah. And sometimes even just the fact that you're able to get away with stuff can make you also complacent.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it becomes a case of, even if I mess up, I'll apologize and make up for it and, do good. And we've done, that kind of stuff. So it got to the point where I was no longer even performing. I was just resuming and closing.
Just coasting.
Yes, doing the bare essentials. So I would come in, check my emails, respond to clients' requests and whatnot. But I was no longer that babe that was challenging the status quo. I was not the one asking questions anymore. It had just become a... And I feel like I held on for so long because I kept thinking of, but I've learned so much here. They've taught me so much. They've stretched me a lot. They've done this, they've done it. Maybe that's all they were meant to do. Maybe that was all. Maybe that was the purpose.
Season,
exactly. So sometimes, even after you have those conversations, you still, and I think you had mentioned, this was probably the first thing you said in terms of women's sentiments. A lot of sentiments went into it. So by the time I left, it was almost a case of, we're done, kind of, on my part, and I would almost say on the organization part. So, of course, it wasn't that we left on bad terms, but it was pretty much like, this is not the Tope that we knew. I also knew this was not the Tope that,
Yeah.
And I think it's because I let that thought linger for too long without taking any decisive action. So it's saying that sometimes you need to pick a side. If you're staying, stay.
And
committed.
give it your best. Yeah.
And if you're leaving, leave. As against just staying for staying sake. And then not putting in the efforts that is required to keep things interesting or exciting. So I've confessed my confession. If in case any of my former employers are like, so that was what was happening at that time. Yeah, because sometimes you don't even know how to explain it. You just know that you're going through certain things. And it's largely because of whatever phase you're experiencing in your own personal life. Because sometimes you're telling people who I'm not happy here, and they're like, like what you said, somebody's working in an oil company. You know how many people are praying for your job?
Exactly.
And then you say you left that to go and start.
How? As how now?
It is economy. They're like, auntie, please stop it, please. Yeah. Some people will even tell you, say, please, before you resign, can you recommend me for that role?
Short that day.
I love it. I would say so for the woman who has decided to stay for now. What does staying look like? How does she also, I would say, I don't want to use the word protect herself, but how does she keep herself relevant while she stays? In as much as you know that maybe I might start seeking alternative or opportunities out there. But while I'm here, what are the things that I do to keep myself sort of sane and also still remain relevant within the system that I'm working in?
I think I've answered that question. I've actually answered that question before. Yeah. I keep pouring into yourself. And when you pour into yourself, it's obvious that this person, and there's something I always promote, especially among women, have your personal brand separated from your corporate brand.
Interesting.
Have a life. Just the way they say women have a life outside your marriage. Yes, let your spouse be your best friend, but it shouldn't be a case of, oh my God,
that's your only friend. That's
your only friend. Have a life. You too. Don't let it look as if you will die if I'm not there now. You know,
if daddy does not come home, you are bored.
You have no life. You have no friend. Even if you're not, you know, a huge social person, but at least let it look like your life is, you are a whole person. You're complete, and that also applies to organizations you work as a professional woman. I've said it, keep pouring into yourself, keep learning, keep growing. Just like you said, if you're there, give it your all. The minute you're no longer motivated to give your all, you know it's time to leave.
Yeah, because
you will soon there's a saying in Yoruba. Can I speak Yoruba?
Yes, please.
Omatote as a you will soon face that. You will
soon be exposed.
You will soon be exposed. You will soon be embarrassed because you can't hide unless your role is irrelevant. But if you hold a serious role, if you're not putting in your best, and people can compare, and that's why we say, oh, this person that is no longer the way they are. That person becomes a talent risk. So you have to keep pouring into yourself. Have a life. And you find out that there's this saying that the people who are most social always either make the best of friends or the best of spouse. Right? True. People who have a life, like your life is rich.
True.
You have so much to offer your partner. You are just, very effervescent. True. You are very
bubbly. you sort of light the space.
You light the space, and it reflects in the quality of love you show your partner. True. It's the same thing for an organization. The people that I've seen who have a solid personal brand, who have a life, because when you have a solid personal brand, I don't know about maybe those that are just performing, there's this tendency to want to build yourself to match that personal brand because you can't embarrass yourself.
True. I can't leave the organization. I can't leave myself.
Exactly. There's a job I got where the CEO told me that I'm giving you this job because I've seen your social media handle. You talk a lot about these things. Come and show me all these things you have been saying. Now imagine
theory. Come and do practical.
Come and do practical. All the big English you have been writing on Instagram. Come and do it on social media. So that was actually what he said when he was going to hire me. For the woman, keep pouring into yourself. Make sure that organization is also pouring into you. True. That you are don't hide from projects, from initiatives. Be a part of it. Be responsive. Be a sponge. Right? Keep soaking. So that the outside world, whatever happens in that organization, when you step out of it, you must be at par with whether the next organization you're going or other peers you're going to meet outside the organization. True. Many people I've seen that struggle to get back into the market is because they've stopped. It's been a while. They've done anything relevant in that organization. They've become part of the system. They've become fixture.
True.
Just collecting salary, but they become fixture. Their CV is there. But when you pick their CV and you speak to them, this person, you are outdated. So that's just it. Pour into yourself. Let the organization pour into you. Be relevant, have a life, a personal brand, build yourself, keep growing, keep learning. A year, have a target. It doesn't need to be anything major. It could be a 1 hour. You could go to LinkedIn. You can subscribe to LinkedIn Premium. You have access to LinkedIn Learning.
Learning, yeah.
Just so many courses to learn from.
Free.
Yeah, you know.
You're
And
right.
so that's
very interesting because we even forget that even it's almost like saying like the waiting season. Even while you are waiting for blessings and stuff that you've prayed for,
be ready.
You have to be active.
Be ready.
Yeah, you can't wait and just cross your hand.
Yeah.
You are waiting and it's like I don't know when the battle is, but I have to keep my sword polished, sharpened all the time because in case I might be sleeping when they call battle cry.
Exactly.
My sword has to be sharpened. It's not at that point I want to start sharpening the sword.
Exactly. Opportunity meets preparedness. That's what my husband is always saying. Opportunity.
Even
if the opportunity should meet you, let's be prepared.
Wow.
So
yeah. I think with most people, sometimes it can be the case of the grass is greener.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just disgruntled with where you are, but you've not asked yourself what you can do to make a difference. Because sometimes the moves or the changes that need to happen does not require you to leave the organization. Sometimes the changes that need to happen is you, in the sense that maybe you are no longer applying yourself, or maybe there are things that you're avoiding doing that can actually make the difference between you being challenged or you feeling like you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's more that honest conversation that gives you the direction.
Yeah.
Do I need to live here or do I just need to ask for more? Do I need to take on more? Because more often than not, if you go and meet your line manager and say, look, boss, I'm feeling like you're not utilizing me, you'll be surprised that he has a lot on his table. There's work. So he might be looking at, let me not overburden this person. But once you tell him, okay, I can take more. It's like, I'll use a pedestrian example of like when you go to the market and those people that carry load, you put one bag, they say put another one.
Exactly.
You put another, they say put another and put another one. But they can only tell you to put another one when you put one. They see that, okay, I can still carry more. Put more.
Exactly.
I can still carry more. Put more. I can still carry more. But once they tell you stop, then they've reached their capacity. So sometimes as individuals, we don't even push ourselves to see how much more we can take on, maybe from a responsibility point of view. So the organization you are working with might be able to give you those opportunities, but you've never asked or you've never even indicated interest. So they don't even know that you're interested in maybe a horizontal move. So I might work in sales department, but I'm like, look, I'm interested in what they do in marketing or what they do in PR. Are there opportunities where maybe I can step in, or are there opportunities? I can sit in on a brainstorming session.
Yeah.
We can, and then you start to also show yourself to the people that count.
Yeah.
To the relevant people. So I guess it's important, like you said, build a personal brand and know what it is that you are working towards as a person. Because it's not about the organization.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, if you've not sort of worked on you will start to feel dissatisfied after a while. And that can be what makes the difference.
Yeah, and I was even going to touch, you started the point. Sometimes that next level requires something from you that you're not willing to give.
Yes.
Now, imagine a scenario where what you said, take on projects with your boss. I remember there was a line manager who I had. I didn't used to work on payroll before. She used to be the one to work on it. I think one day I just said, let me help you with this payroll now. I can take it on. She gave it to me. She checked. That was the last day she touched payroll till she left the organization. That was her last day. That was the last.
You could do it. She was like, fantastic.
So you can do this thing. And it was the same thing I did in an organization I used to work.
Yeah.
I gave it to her. I just told her that you to try payroll. She tried it. In fact, she was not perfect. Till I left, she was the first line. So I just became, let me check. Have you done that? You're fantastic. Oh, yeah, send it. That was exactly what she did. Now, doing that payroll required certain things from me. In fact, I made a mistake at some point on that payroll where I mistakenly paid one person 10% salary.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I made a mistake. 10% salary. Now, you know what was beautiful? I sent an email. I admitted myself. And I said, they can be removing the salary small from my pay.
Oh, from your pay?
From my, it was my error now. We have
So
paid the person was no longer in the system. It was a
okay.
final pay. I made that error. Now, those are the downsides of payroll.
Yeah.
I was willing to take it, but someone say, me, I'm not doing payroll before I go and make a mistake and pay somebody. Let me, I beg, I'm not interested. And the person will step away from that. But doing that payroll opened me up to other opportunities that, if you can do payroll, it increased my stakeholder management capacity. I was dealing more with certain vendors. If I hadn't been doing payroll, I wouldn't have been exposed to that level of maybe. So the point is, that next level required a certain thing from me, for some people, they are not willing to move because they know that the next level they are going to will require them to. Yeah.
Interesting. I love it.
Sacrifice something.
So I think it's while we're saying that, yes, you might be feeling restless. Yes, you might want to move. You might want to decide and move. I think just to sum it up, is more that have the honest conversation with yourself. If you have maybe a mentor or someone that you can talk to, have that conversation with them. But also ask yourself if you are ready to do what it takes. Because it's one thing to say, I'm no longer feeling challenged here. Are you ready to take on that challenge when it actually comes? Because that's what makes the difference. You're not moving for moving sake. You're moving because you're trying to achieve something and try to fulfill something. Fantastic. I always say I never know how time flies, but time just always flies. Yeah. True. So our time is up. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for sharing from your wealth of knowledge and experience. It's been fantastic having you on the show today.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can have a maybe part 2, even if it's a different conversation. Because I feel like with life, there's so many things that we're all learning from each other, on a regular basis. And I think that's what makes life interesting.
Absolutely.
You pour into others and other people pour into you as well. So I'm so grateful that you were able to join us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tidi.
People at home, I hope you guys learned something from this conversation, and please feel free. We're going to post this, of course, on our YouTube page, so you can still go comment, ask your questions, share maybe even your own experiences. It's been fantastic being here with you guys today. See you same time next week. Bye.